Hi there. I said in the last video that I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the opportunities that lockdown could afford us, and I do want to do that. But um, in thinking about that, a whole bunch of other stuff has come up for me, and so there's going to be more videos. Um, in this one, I want to sort of create what I believe to be the proper context for the conversation about the opportunities in lockdown. And by that I mean that there seems to be a very widely held misapprehension, in my opinion, that in a few weeks or a couple of months or whatever, everything's going to broadly go back to normal. And this makes me very sad for two reasons. Number one, as I said in the last video, I think this is a glorious opportunity to really take stock, take a step back, and reevaluate some of the ways in which we do things. Um, but also, I think that this reliance on everything's going to go back to normal is rooted in, fear of the unknown and the comfort of the familiarity. And I get it. We all have that. It's entirely understandable, but I do think it's profoundly misguided. And so I'd like to use this video just to spend a few minutes, not very long, giving a little glimpse into some of the uncertainty and complexity that surrounds all of this. And it's my contention that this is basically what chaos looks like, right? That there are so many possibilities that could emerge from this, right? That it is impossible to predict with any certainty how this is going to play out. And I think that anyone who is espousing opinions about, how things are going to look in 3 months, 6 months, a year's time is essentially talking out of their arse. They're just guessing, right? So, um, yeah, like I said, I want to spend a few minutes just highlighting some of the difficulty and uncertainty around all of this. So the virus itself, first of all, um, the curves are starting to flatten out now, right? And so governments are going to be tempted to start relaxing the lockdowns in order to get the economy going, right? And so how is that going to play out? As the lockdowns are relaxed, is that going to mean a resurgence in cases, or will testing be ramped up to the point where, quarantines can be targeted and things can start, people can start going back to work and so on? Don't know yet. When people have had the disease and recovered from it, what are the long-term consequences to their health? Is there damage to their respiratory system, to their immune system, for example? We don't know yet. When people have had it and recovered from it, are they immune to the disease in perpetuity? Are they somewhat immune to the disease so they don't get symptoms but they can still be carriers? Again, all of this is unknown. Um, Will a vaccine be developed? Probably at some point. How long is it going to take? Don't know. How effective is it going to be? Don't know. For how long is it going to be effective in any given individual? Don't know. How widely available is it going to be? How quickly can it be rolled out globally? Don't know. What will the distribution of the vaccine be? Will it be available first in rich countries and in poor countries? What does that mean for travel? What does that mean for the transportation of goods? Don't know. Whichever nation develops the vaccine first, how altruistic are they going to be with that information, or are they going to seek to profit from it politically, financially, whatever? Imagine, for example, that an Iranian laboratory comes up with a vaccine first, right? Um, are they going to be nice to the Americans, for example, who have never really been very nice to them, right? Are they going to just let them have it freely, or are they going to use that to hold over them? I mean, this is, these kinds of situations are going to emerge from this chaos, and depending on which direction is taken, that's gonna, do you know what I mean, profound change. It could either be the beginning of real collaboration and cooperation and forgiveness of past sins and all of that kind of thing, or it can be a pathway to war, right? Very, very, very different outcomes. So that's kind of the point I want to make here. There are all sorts of other unknowns with the economy, for example, right? All of these people who are not getting paid, all of these businesses who have not been receiving any revenue. Government's responses broadly so far to this have been, don't worry about it, you don't have to pay your bills now, you can sort it out later, but you still have to sort it out later, right? These things are being deferred, not cancelled. There's no moratorium, there's no jubilee. And so, yeah, that is going to lead to a whole bunch of people not having jobs. And you have to claim, right? If you don't, if you've lost your job, you have to claim for whatever benefits in your country. Who's processing all of these claims? You know, the number of claims has gone up threefold, fivefold, tenfold in some places. Who's processing all these claims while some of the staff are coming down with the virus and everyone's being isolated? Who knows if these people are even deemed essential personnel? I don't know. So there's, it's impossible to believe, in my opinion, that things are going to go back to normal. It is far, far, far more likely that things are going to change dramatically. Now, I don't know how they're going to change, but I do think they're going to change. And so this is kind of the context that I was trying to put the opportunity idea into, right? When your time is no longer being directed entirely from the outside world, if only for a while, what are you going to do with it? When you don't have your job, when you don't have your routine, when you don't have the daily trappings of your life, who are you in the absence of that? What is actually important to you? What do you wish to hold primary in going forward in these times of chaos? These are the kinds of questions that one can be asking oneself during these kinds of times. So yeah, I mean, I see there's two basic choices that face people at the moment, right? You've got a lot of time in your hands, you've got a lot of thoughts swirling around through your head. Normally, you don't have to listen to all that stuff, right? Because you're busy doing other things. But yeah, there's two responses here, right? One is, like I said, stick your head in the sand and just go all in on the fact that it's all going to go back to normal and it's all going to be okay again. And maybe, who knows? It's possible that's exactly how it's going to turn out. God, I can think of nothing more depressing than in 3 months we're all back to arguing about fucking Brexit. But anyway, yeah, that's a possibility. The alternative is to, in Joseph Campbell language, heed the call to action and embark on a journey that will not only, you know, prepare you for an uncertain future, but also enrich your life, deepen your relationships, expand your capacity, all of this kind of thing. So, you know, seeing it as an opportunity to embark on adventure rather than hunkering down and being fearful seems to me to be a better response. Just one final thought. The notion I laid out earlier on about, you know, the lab in Iran and the two directions that we could take there. I mean, that idea runs right down to the level of, you know, am I going to let my neighbor have a roll or two of my toilet paper, or am I going to hoard all of my 36 rolls or whatever to myself? And so I think it's really important to remember that at some point the virus is going to be behind us, right? It's going to be a thing of the past. But the decisions that we make in the face of it could potentially stay with us for a very, very, very long time. And so the less those decisions can be rooted in fear of the unknown and a desperate desire to get back to the familiar, and the more they can be grounded in a spirit of adventure, a willingness to embrace the unknown and to try new things, then the more likely we are to make good decisions in the long run. So yeah, that's really all I have to say for this one. More coming, like I said, but for now, thank you very much indeed for watching, and see you soon.